guy with the cap on. Marijuana don't make you walk into a bar and think you can whoop everybody in there. Now, if a person get caught, let's say if they eased up on the drug laws and say, look, X amount of marijuana, no offense. You know, long as you're not selling it, distributing, you know, because it's a relaxer. It calms people down.
Okay.
It takes the monotony and the everyday. Let me put it like this. You hear when people the people that want to say marijuana is no good, they'll get somebody on methamphetamines and stuff like that, and then talk about how bad it is. It's not bad. It grows out the ground.
Right. Yeah. Well, we all agree with you very much, and you're very passionate.
Well, you do something about it. You need to push some laws.
Actually, here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the call.
Thanks.
That was an excellent call.
Well, again, I think my point a while ago was, you know, if we address it in a manner that's realistic, I mean, we can be all idealistic, and we can holler all we want and shout all we want, and if it's not happening, now, if that was making us feel good, that's fine. But if it's not changing, and it's not about what are y'all doing, what are we doing?
Exactly. What is this?
You know,
I think
it's got to be a we together, though.
Right.
Together.
And
because
if he could call his legislator.
If you feel that these drug laws are so ridiculous and that we need to work together, and you're saying you as a enforcement officer in charge of a department, and we as individuals, I know I do, I know she does, and I know a couple other people around here, we go up to the Capitol and we do talk to our representatives.
No, I understand that, but I think that my challenge is here, because even I have this challenge. What is it going to take, though, to create among the people an understanding that we need to rethink this? Because if we just come up real abrupt about a certain change, that also is scary. It's scary to people to say, let's make this dramatic change, even though you may...
Something they haven't heard of. You
may have been at it for a while. I have talked about it for a while, that we need to think about this. I'm not telling you that this is Victor Trevino's way. I'm just saying that because of my experience, I'm telling you we got some real issues with prisons overcrowding, over 2.5 million people, and almost 50% of them is drug related, and a big portion of it could be marijuana.
Right, largest dealer in the country.
I understand all that, and you know, when you look at the problems with the cartel in Mexico, and you know, to what degree is it also part of the marijuana plants and what's going on out there? So
let me ask you something. What do you think would happen if we in the United States right now said, we're going to decriminalize drugs, and everybody out there that was getting arrested for simple possession, now you can go for therapy?
I hate to say this because it's just a thought process, hypothetical, but you know what, I think it's kind of like, why don't you think we pass gambling in Texas? I mean, gosh, we got the lotto, you got the horse racing, you got dog racing, we got all this gambling, and we all go to Louisiana or Mississippi or Vegas, and we don't do it here. Why do you think? There's so much money being pumped in here to lobby against it.
Right.
The people want gambling. They want it. If you were to take a poll and ask how many of y'all, now those are things are important too.
Well, sorry, I hate to cut you off, but let's reel it back in. Let's stop talking semantics here, and let's reel it back into a more regional level. And what can we do? You know, we were talking about what can we do as citizens. You know, there's going to take a lot more education, a lot more programs like this, and people openly talking about it and understanding what it really means. But as far as on the police enforcement side, you know, what do you perceive, and you've been on the front lines, what do you perceive as one of the best routes and methods for change?
Well, I think it's got to start on the grassroots level. I mean, of course, you have your program here, but I think taking it on a personal level, on a grassroots level, whether you go to civic clubs, whether you're allowed in certain to develop coalition groups,
definitely
on a grassroots level,
and
that says, you know, can we try something where you're thinking out of the box? Can you try something?
Okay.
I know you got another caller.
We've got a caller, but I've got a very important question for you.
Let's go to that caller.
Hi, caller. Welcome to Drugs, Crime, and Politics.
Yes, isn't it an oxymoron or hypocrisy that the free world has the largest amount of prisoners? That's a shame on America.
Thank you for the call. Sorry, I think that was his main question, though.
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, maybe it is something. it's something to consider. The fact that we have a lot of people locked up, but I don't. But also, isn't it interesting that still more people want to come here?
Right. Well, the U.S. is the largest
you don't ever
jailer
hear people saying, "Let's not go to America because we're going to get locked up in prison." We got one of the largest group of immigrants that want to come over here, so there must be something going on that we have. It doesn't mean we can't get better. It doesn't mean that. I think we can get better, and we should have more conversations like this on a decent level, and that's what I appreciate about a decent level with some respect. And I think we can take it to a different level. You had a question while you didn't ask.
The question, I guess we'll hold this caller for a little bit, but we were talking about how we can change things, how we can bring things to a decent level. Now, decriminalization is just kind of far out there for the greater populace who doesn't think about this on an everyday basis. But, for example, the greater populace who does not, necessarily use marijuana, what would you think about, and how could, citizens like us enact our city government and our regional government to perhaps make possession a lowest level priority?
Well, I think we've made a lot of progress there, because I remember in my young days, any kind of possession was a felony, automatic felony, and it was devastating. So it did take some effort on the part of some people to reduce that and change it. So we've made some progress. So I think we need to use those bases there, the foundation that's been there. But what's also important, what I think has changed though, is in the minds of people, they're scared about going any further. Go ahead and take your call.
Is the caller still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to Drugs, Crime, and Politics.
Yes, I had a question in regard, or a couple of comments in regards to the politics of HPD that I'd like for y'all to talk about. And one of them is, the point I want to try to make is HPD a military operation in regards to how it conducts itself? And then second, in regards to the constables, I think I do want to commend Officer Simmons for some outstanding work. Can you talk about, in regards to HPD, if it's politically driven, and can you elaborate on that, Victor?
Let me try. I think, first of all, the politics of it may be because we do have a strong mayor's city here, and the city council are all elected, and they appoint the chief. So there is definitely some politics there that we have to keep in mind. It is a paramilitary force that is governed by rules and regulations. I don't know if that answers the question, but there is definitely some politics, even within the constables. I'm elected. So I do have to look at that. How I look at it, it doesn't mean I compromise certain values, certain ethics, but I have to be responsive to what is it that the people expect of me. How can I be out there with the people and help them understand what we have to do is together, not a Victor Trevino thing, and it shouldn't be an HPD thing. And I think that many municipal police departments have experienced that. We can go back here to many cases I can tell you in the past where we've had uprising from the people because they say, hey, hold on, we don't want that. So we in law enforcement and in politics have to be more conscious of that, of what is the will of the people. How can we work with the people? So your issues about the marijuana issues and how we can take it to a different level or reducing it, we have reduced it. We've gone from the felony to the misdemeanor, 2 ounces or less. It is